Hey, look at me! Why is everyone screaming when they see me? Ah!
I'm just a tiny red lump, not a horror movie villain. I know, my name sounds like I ooze pus and ruin lives. Relax. I'm dramatic, red, and love to bleed, but I'm way less dangerous than I look.
Stick around and I'll expose the biggest lie in my name.
I am Pyogenic granuloma, my name. It is completely and utterly misleading. We're not talking about puss. It has nothing to do with an infection. And get this, it isn't even a true granuloma. So if there's one thing you take away today, it's this. The name is basically lying to you. Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit.
I am simply an exaggerated response or minor local irritation or injury, usually painless. Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine you've got a small irritation, maybe some plaque around your gums. Normally your body would handle that calmly, but in this case the body just goes into overdrive. It sends a flood of blood vessels and way too much tissue to the site. And this whole process creates this fast-growing red bleeding mass. That overreaction is the pyogenic granuloma. I show up when the balance between pro-angiogenic and anti-angiogenic factors flips after a little local trauma. Hormones? Oh, they love to hype me up. During pregnancy, with estrogen and gesterone. With oral contraceptives, or in a transplant state, I grow even faster. Some drugs accidentally roll out the red carpet for me. Retinoids, antiretroviral agents, anti-neoplastic drugs, immunosuppressive, all of these can help make my grand entrance. I'm really not picky about age. I can show up in any patient at any time of life. I often peak in the second decade of life, so teens and young adults see a lot of me. When I decide to appear on mucosal surfaces like the mouth, nasal cavity, or eye, I tend to appear in females more than males. If you consider both my cutaneous and mucosal versions together, I usually show up in males earlier, from childhood up to the late 20s, while women more often meet me a bit later, typically between 30 and 40 years. And yes, I also show up in children. In pediatric studies, the average age at diagnosis is about 6 to 10 years, with a bit of a male bias. On the skin, I like the trunk and extremities. On mucosa, I love the mouth, nose, eye. Lobule aggregates of capillary vessels within granulation tissue, with capillary proliferation. Lobular arrangement with lobules forming a pendant mass. Prominent vasculature with fibrinopurulent surface membrane and proliferating endothelial cells. And exophytic proliferation at the surface. I love the gums. That's my favorite hangout. In fact, about 70% of the time, you'll find me right there. Show up as a bright red, bumpy little mass, but I don't stop at the gums. I can pop up on the tongue or palate too, often after a bit of minor trauma. I grow fast and bleed easily, so I definitely look scary, but that doesn't mean I'm malignant. I usually start small, just a tiny papule, then I suddenly speed up and grow fast, turning into a sessile lump or a pedunculated mass hanging on a little stalk, deep purple. And my size can be anything from a few millimeters to several centimeters. My surface is super fragile. Touch me, brush me, biting by accident, I can bleed a lot from the tiniest trauma. I have a few versions. Sometimes I show up on fingers or around nails, one bump or many. Rarely I spread everywhere, especially with burns, isotretinoin, or GCSF. I can also hide deeper as subcutaneous or intravascular nodules in the neck, trunk, or limbs. And if I appear in the GI tract, I may look like a polyp and cause anemia from slow bleeding. Treat me if I ulcerate, bleed a lot, look bad, or interfere with function. Best option, complete excision under local anesthesia, especially hidden areas. Other options, cryotherapy, silver nitrate, or lasers, pulse dye, CO2, and DIAG. Medical options exist, topical imiquimod, alitretinoin, timolol, propranolol, or injections like steroids. If I'm triggered by pregnancy or a drug, I often shrink after delivery or stopping the drug. Good news, prognosis is excellent. Recurs about 3 to 15%. Recurrence becomes more higher if removal is incomplete or the trigger stays. I'm always sent for a biopsy to confirm it's really me and rule out anything serious. I may look scary, but I'm completely manageable, and with the right treatment and trigger removal, I usually disappear without any serious trouble.